Hey there, Rednecks, Preppies, Redneck Preppies. It's me, the Redneck Preppy. How you doing today? Great. Good. This is a Type 38 Arisaka. There's nothing really special about it. In fact, as examples of the rifle go, it's probably less than remarkable. The wood is pretty dinged up. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on camera. But other than that, it's fine. Still has its dust cover, if that means anything. It's also the most expensive rifle I've ever bought. Let me explain. In terms of actual cost, even with inflation, it's not actually the most expensive rifle I've ever bought. My CZ457 build, which I picked up a few months back, cost several times what this rifle did. Even my WK180C easily beats this out. Still, in terms of total cost, the Type 38 quite easily wins. The story starts some years back when I learned of an auction at a local gun store. I checked out the pre-show and it was your usual mix of sportedly Enfield, sporting guns. Nothing special. Then my eyes fell upon the rifle, a Type 38 Arisaka. For some reason, I've always been interested in Japanese firearms from the Second World War and earlier, and this was the first I'd ever seen in person. I mean, there are not many of these up where I live. So I put it on my short list. Day of auction, and it was a packed house. The rifle wasn't due to go up for at least an hour, so I sat there and I was entertained by the bidding wars over unremarkable used sporting rifles that sometimes went for more than a brand new one did. Finally, my rifle came up. Now, I had set a hard cap of $400 for this rifle. I didn't expect many bidders. I mean, the ammunition for it was expensive and hard to find, so I didn't think that was unrealistic. The auctioneer opened the bidding and I was the first one to raise my card. And then the war began. Several bidders around me started bidding as well. The price kept climbing and it finally reached my cap of $400, for which I raised my card. The bidding continued, this time to $500. At this point, I was faced with a choice. Allow it to go, or decide I was going to win. So I raised my card again. At this point, most of the bidders decided to bail out. Intelligently, I might add. I thought I had it. Then the auctioneer acknowledged a bid from the back of the room. I looked behind me, but I couldn't see who it had been. Yeah, I don't think so. My card went up again. The fight was on. And back and forth it went between myself and this mystery bidder, up to $600, then $700, finally $800. At this point, the crowd gasped. Feeling nothing though but bloodlust at this point, I dug in and I raised my card again. Back and forth, the price finally settled at $900. And I won. Or should I say, won. Whoever the mystery bidder was, I have no idea, but I had the damned rifle. Now, as you know, I don't buy wall hangers. Every firearm I own gets fired. But where do you buy 6.5 Jap ammunition in northern Canada? Turns out there was one store across the city that had some in stock. Norma. And for only $65 Canadian for a box of 20. They had 2 boxes. What was I gonna do? While I was in the store, some of the customers were talking about the recent auction and they were discussing the mad lad who had bought the Arisaka. Then they looked down at my purchase. 2 boxes of 6.5 Jap ammunition. All I could say was, yeah, it was me. They laughed and noted that I may have fallen prey to a shadow bidder, a trick that a shady auctioneer can use to inflate the price, essentially taking bids from someone not bidding in order to pump the person who's actually bidding. I have to admit that the thought had occurred to me afterwards. Well, a good story, such as this is, can earn you a nickname, and to this day I am known amongst many in the local gun community as Jap Steve, in honor of my folly. After shooting my prize of 40 rounds, I was faced with the same problem again. Where to get ammunition? That local gun store didn't get many shipments of 6.5 Jap. unsurprisingly, and back then it wasn't much easier to get anywhere else. What to do? Well, reloading was the answer. So I jumped in with both feet by buying a Lee all-in-one kit, some dies, brass, bullets, primers, and powder, and basically learned how to reload by reading the Lee manual and watching some videos on YouTube. The Arisaka was now being regularly fed. Except, now that I could reload, I could also pound out rounds from my other rifles, all of which had previously and happily survived on a diet of military surplus and the occasional box of factory ammunition when I wanted to treat them. So like a drunk with a full wallet, I went on a bender. I bought everything I needed to reload several different calibers from multiple rifles. And as I bought more rifles, I bought more dies. I upgraded various parts of that reloading kit to the point that today I only have one piece, the Lee Perfect Pour Powder Measure that's left from it. More rifles, more equipment to reload. Today I reload 12 different calibers, I'm not insane number, for dozens of rifles. I have spent unknown sums of money on components, upgrading reloading tools, multiple reloading presses, and every gadget to make the process faster. Much like an angler spends on lures promising to catch fish. Not that I would know anything about that. The rifle was expensive at $900. Hell, I might actually break even on it if I were to decide to sell it today. The real cost, though, was turning a small hobby of just shooting a couple of milsurps into a spider web of increasingly expensive firearms, a steady diet of reloading components, also increasingly expensive, ammunition, scopes, range gear, gun gear, enhancements, reloading gear, and God only knows what else. In short, that $900 has cost me at least 30 times as much over the past few years as I went ever deeper down the rabbit hole of military surplus rifles and reloading for them. Not to mention competitions I enter, practice, sport shooting, target shooting, and some modern rifles just for the heck of it. I suppose if there is a point to all of this, it's the following. Number one, just like milk is a gateway drug to everything else, so too a simple rifle can be the start of an expensive journey with no end in sight. Number two, avoid auctions. I have considered selling this rifle, and the store in which I earned my nickname is actually interested in buying it. I'll likely take a bit of a haircut in the transaction, but it would allow me to erase somewhat the original sin that it represents. That said, I don't know if I could bear parting with Yoshi. Yes, all my rifles had names. What, you don't? Because as much as it's cost me over the years, I actually would miss this. There aren't a lot of Type 38s around, and she was responsible for getting me more deeply into a hobby, well, a few connected hobbies, that I truly enjoy. I'm still trying to make the call on that one. At any rate, I hope you are at least vaguely entertained and mildly informed by my little story. As always, I hope your excursions into the world of military surplus rifles are a little better informed and thought out than mine was. At any rate, take care, and bye-bye.